couple of weeks ago, we came home and our propane delivery truck was here. It backed up into the driveway like he's supposed to. And we thought he would take his hose down along the sidewalk here and across the grass around the corner to the propane tank. Well, what he did was he actually carried his hose and climbed up over the stone wall here and dragged it across there. Now, part of what that's going to be is these going to be planted with perennials and bushes in here, and we don't really want him trampling through the flowers. So I talked to him, and he said, yeah, he would be able to take it along the sidewalk, but he was concerned about his toes cutting across this part right here. So what we're going to do is place a large stone here at the edge of the mulch there so that his hose will have something to bend around when he pulls it out of the truck. So we started looking for stones. And we have the stone pile out here that has some pretty large rocks in it, but all those have been dug up recently, so they really don't have any character to them. They've been buried for probably hundreds of years, don't have any lichen or algae growing on them. Because this had been a hay field where they had their big mowers out here, I believe the farmers were probably clearing rocks out of the fields and just dumping them at the edge of the woods out here by the creek. So I went out here today and scratched around in the rock, in the leaves, and found a really nice rock with some character to it. So we'll show you that. We'll get it on the tractor, get it placed over here, and find another one also for the mulch. Okay, this rock is back here near where the ground slopes down, had a lot of leaves underneath it. I had a steel bar I was able to pry it out of there and roll it to this point, but it's really too heavy for me to take it any further. There's also a rock that I see over here that looks like it's got good character to it. It's going to be a pretty big one also, so let's see if we can move it with the steel bar. Okay. I'll be able to roll this one out. And the reason I'm having to roll them out to there is that the tractor just cannot fit in between the space of these trees here. Okay. I have the two rocks kind of up on a little bit higher ground, roll them up from them in the depression there. One thing with this, these rocks probably weigh, 100 to 150 pounds on that one. Watch your feet with things like this. You can easily crush your toe. Normally I use steel toe boots when I mess with the rocks, but my winter boots don't have steel toes, and I think I'll be okay to move these. I'm going to roll them into the bucket and get the bucket up and then take them over to the driveway. Okay. Now both of these will fit in the bucket on the tractor. I've moved bigger ones that really won't fit in, and then I'll put a chain to hold them into place. This one, I don't need to do that. I'll meet you over on the other side of the driveway.
Now, one thing you want to make sure with any kind of heavy rock is that you have it secured to the ground where it can't roll onto somebody. That's not bad. I'll probably put a little rock into this end of it. It's rocking like that.
Here is the larger rock that was placed with the small rock underneath it. Looking on down the sidewalk, we have the other rocks we placed along the edge. So I'm thinking this looks pretty good. Let's see what happens when the propane is delivered. Rock with the propane hose going underneath that notch very nicely. So that looks good. Here it is from another angle, and you can see that the propane hose fits in that notch up under the large rock very nicely, so I think that will work. Here's the propane hose going across the yard, and you can see it moving because the guy's pulling the hose around the house. Oh, did you see what happened there? Let me show you again and slow it down for you. He's pulling the hose. You can see the hose moving. And right about there, you see the hose start to come across the top of that planting bed. This is going to be a problem, not only for the plants that will be planted there, but this blue ball right here, that's a glass gazing ball. So we don't want that knocked over and broken. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of solution to see what we can do to keep that hose off the bed. There's the hose going across the yard. And here comes the propane delivery guy back to his truck. And you can tell that he knows that hose went across the bed because he's kicking it off of that bed as he's walking by. So we're going to have to place a rock along that bed or come up with some other solution so that the hose doesn't get dragged across that planting bed. So let's go shopping at the rock store to see what kind of rocks we can find to place along that planting bed. So we thought we were going to place 1 or 2 rocks along that bed, but that's not quite what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So one rock turned into 15, but I think it looks good and it will definitely keep the hose off that bed in the future. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and find out what we're up to here at Making Paradise.